I'm Annie Botticelli, and this is the Storyteller Forecast for Sagittarius for December 2015. Check out my new blog on my website, anniehelpsyou.com. I'll be writing about astrology and, in true Sag fashion, all kinds of other things, right? Because we're interested in many things, so check it out. So what's going on in our month? This is birthday time for most of us. It's my birthday and I love birthdays. So let's talk about the power of the birthday wish first and the power of vision boards on 2 key days in the year. One is your birthday, the other is the new moon in Aries. Okay, so we're far way away from there, but the 2 best times of the year to do a vision board are when the sun moves into, or the new moon in Aries, and your birthday. So now, before your birthday is the time to be storing magazines, picking up clippings of things that embody the life that you want to create or add to the life that you have. This is the time. When the sun in the sky gets to the same point as the sun was in your chart at the time you were born, this is called a solar return. This is a magical day, and this happens around your birthday. Sometimes it happens just the day before, sometimes it happens just into the next day. You'd have to have a solar return chart run to see exactly, because it changes every year. But you could safely, on your birthday, do all of this stuff and you would have plenty of power. So don't stress if you don't know the exact time. It's still going to work out for you. Okay, so when you do your wishes on your birthday, when you do your vision board on your birthday, you're doing it in this magical portal that opens up when the sun in the sky connects with the place, the exact mathematical placement where it was when you were born. Then the universe is exceptionally receptive to your desires at that time. So you definitely want to do that. What happens the 4 weeks before your birthday? That's different. That's totally different than birthday time because the sun is in your 12th house. So you can mark 4 weeks before your birthday. I feel it a little bit sooner. I tend to feel things earlier than they happen. So I'll start to feel this energy before. So just look out and see where your personal rhythm is. But when the sun moves into your 12th house, it brings all of this focus on your deep unconscious mind. This is like Harry Potter stuff, you know? It's like when he realizes that the things outside of him that are so terrifying to him are actually inside of him, and he has to conquer them inside of himself in order to clear the reflections externally or to win the war externally. Every time the sun gets into the 12th house, we have an amazing chance to face our fears head on, to see what they are, and to clear them out. So if you don't know that this is happening, you might be dealing with this in a different way. I know many people who would start partying like long before their birthday, partly because they were so anxious because the sun was in their 12th house and they didn't know what else to do. They were self-medicating. And I understand that because astrologically this can make you very anxious. It can interfere with your sleep, and you might do whatever you think you need to keep your mind off of it. So I don't think that's the best way to do it. I think the best way to do it is to focus on the psychology, to focus on the inwardness, to focus on the reflectiveness. Dream time is especially powerful during this time. Meditation is especially powerful during this time. So use the energy where the spotlight is showing you the things that are the problems to shift to the problems rather than avoiding the problems, and you'll have different outcomes. So there's going to be a strong concentration in the 12th house for some of you middle and all of you late degree placements. The sun, the new moon, Mercury is going to be crowding that 12th house. So for you later birthdays, you're going to be kind of in this having to work some things out energy. And then what comes is all of those planets move into your first house, which is where you early placements, those of you who've had your birthdays already, you're having the new moon and the sun and Mercury busting over into your first house of vitality and rebirth and redefinition and physicality, movement, action. So you can see it's very different depending on exactly when your birthday is. And you'll all experience, similar things. It's just staggered in time because it depends on what degree your rising sign or your sun sign is at. But you'll know when it's happening, and you'll be able to tell the difference for sure. So we've got birthdays, we've got either strong focus, internal and quiet, or we have bursting forth. In general, the theme for December for the first 3 weeks is Sag. You know, it's new moon in Sag, sun in Sag, Mercury in Sag. It's festive, it's vibrant, it's active. And December 1st and December 8th bring us two beautiful aspects, first with Mercury, then with the sun, with both with Uranus, which sizzles with power and excitement. They're wonderful times for parties and connecting with people. December 17th, we've got a beautiful aspect with Venus and Pluto. Now, the aspects on the 1st and 8th are in a trine. When you have a trine, it's like it just brings goodness without you having to really do that much about it, or even with it. It's just cool no matter what you do. When you have an aspect that's 60 degrees, which is called a sextile, you need to do something with it. It's like there's this potential here, and you've got to activate it. You know, it's like the yeast for the bread, or like activating the yeast before you put it in the bread. You know, you've got to mix it with the water and the honey, right? And then it goes whoom, and it starts fuzzling all over the place. When you have a sextile, you've got to activate it, and you activate it with action. So Venus rules relationships, love, beauty, harmony, aesthetics, money, finances. And Pluto rules great transformation, great synergy and merging. So you've got an opportunity that comes around this time, and you've got to do something with it. So be on the lookout. Whenever I give you dates, know that you could feel these energies before or after the dates, not just on those dates. So we've got another beautiful aspect on December 29th when the sun in Capricorn has another sextile with Neptune. So again, there's an activation component here. Intuition, a hunch, something comes in, a nudge, and you've got to do something with it. But if you do something with it, it could put you at the right place at the right time, or connect you. Like if you get that nudge to call someone, it could start this whole synchronistic sequence of actions, you know. And Sages are known for synchronicity. Some people think that Sages are luckier than other people, and that they're just born with that. And in a way, that's true. I always tell the other signs that they can have the magic that Sag has if they just do the things that Sages naturally do that bring that type of magic. It's something that you do. It's a way energy moves through you that brings that magic. It's not just there. You know, there's a reason for it, and it can be activated for other people who don't naturally have energy move that way. But one of the things you do is have a positive outlook and have a wide open perception of things, where it's like there's something over here, okay, that's right, there's something over here, that's right too. You know, it's very open. And when you live openly like that, there's a lot more room for magic. And when you have a positive attitude, there's a lot more room for magic. And so there's several aspects this month that can really activate that magical way that you are anyway, which is very exciting. We do have a couple of dates that I want you to look out for. I never tell you these things to be afraid. I'm not a fear mongerer. I don't focus on fear or negative things, but I want you to be prepared. Similar to how a grandparent is prepared for when their grandkids and dogs come over. They put away the breakables, hopefully, right? They only have to one time not do these things, and they say, I'm not doing that again, right? So they prepare for this visit where they don't have their good stuff out, so that when everything gets thrown around like, you know, bulls in a china shop, they can enjoy the children and the family instead of being so wrapped up with their stuff getting messed up, right? And that's why we want to know about these challenges. So if you know, you're going to be a little bit dicey around there, you're prepared for it, and you don't have your good china out. So you basically want to put all your good china away around December 10th, a little bit before, because this is when Mars, speaking of which rules this energy of, you know, like a bull in a china shop, basically. You know, it just rams into things, and it's not very smooth when it's in combination with Uranus in an opposition. Uranus is this factor of surprises, jolts, electric lightning strikes, except in an opposition, often these are unwelcome strikes, these unwelcome surprises, and Mars has to do with physicality and also aggressiveness or assertiveness, and it could have to do with ego in a lower vibration. So you want to be really careful, because you or someone else are going to get your feathers ruffled around this time, and it could result in an outcome that's not great. So if you know that things are going to be a little bit touchy, don't bring up touchy things at that time. You know, don't have this big talk about this thing that's been waiting to be dealt with. Try to avoid that at that time. It may naturally come to you, you know, and then you have to try to have peace with that. But you just want to be careful and guard your physical body as well, your head, especially your head. And then we want to watch out for this tricky full moon. On Christmas Day, near many other holidays that are celebrated besides Christmas, we've got the energy of the full moon because we feel that days before, we feel that days after. And this is a full moon in Cancer. So the full moon in Cancer naturally brings fullness or wholeness or completion to family-related things. And that could be positive. That could be you have your whole family together, you have people in your home. That's a wonderful thing. Full moons don't always just bring negative drama. They can bring fullness in something positive. But that's emotional, you know. But this full moon has an opposition to Pluto. And Pluto in opposition brings power struggles. So the probability that a power struggle is going to ensue around the time of the full moon is very high. So be ready for it, you know, and how you get ready for it. I think to be in a calm place, to be in a meditative place, to work out your charges. The way I deal with it is inner work. You want to make sure you're exercising. You know, that's another thing about those dates around December 10th. When Mars and Uranus get together, it's like you have your finger in a socket, you know, and you're like, and you're just like getting electrocuted constantly, and you feel like you can't sleep. You feel really anxious, you feel really edgy, you feel really nervous. I like to deal with this by grounding in the earth vibration, the frequency of the earth offsets these types of transits. So being barefoot, I know it's in winter, so if you can't do that, I understand, but if you can put your hands without your gloves on and your third eye on a tree, you can change your vibration and channel it. If you pay attention, you'll feel the electric coming out of your third eye and your hands and your feet if you get brave and do that. We don't want you to catch a cold though, so and maybe I don't want to encourage that, but you know, you can feel the energy coming out of you. So you've got to ground that energy. And so back now to Christmas, if you know a power struggle is coming, if you get the charges you have off of you, then when the struggle comes in, maybe it won't be as much of a struggle for you, you know? There's a fantastic book called Nonviolent Communication that is really amazing for this. So if you're having a power struggle with anyone in your life and having problems with communicating, this can really facilitate shifting the energy. This is what I talk about always about being a spiritual ninja. You know, when you can use this information to change a dynamic that has been in play, you know, been in place, and you do that with something you do different, that's magical. That's really cool. That's what being a spiritual ninja is all about. And you can do more of that when you have the charges off of you. So this tricky full moon that has this opposition to Pluto also has a trine to Neptune. So even though the odds that a power struggle will ensue are increased, the odds that a harmonious solution will come are increased also. And while this is going on, we have a beautiful trine with Mercury and your planet, Jupiter, which brings creative genius and bigger thinking, like thinking beyond the problem. When we get lost in the problem, we can't solve the problem. Einstein said you can't solve a problem with the same line of thinking that created the problem. And that's one of the things another thing that brings magic for Sagittarius is that we look at problems like we're on a cloud. Like if there's a water source that was stopped in a village, you know, and you're up on the mountain and you can see that the beavers made a dam 3 miles up. Your problem solved. If you're in the town, you can't see what's going on. You don't know what's happening. You can't really solve the problem. So this beautiful way of Sagittarius of seeing solutions, which is very much embodied by our ruling planet Jupiter, which is very much emphasized at this time, will give you this increased awareness of looking at the bigger picture and bigger possibilities. So there is conflict, but I do believe that there's a lot more energy that can help you resolve something that's been a problem for you for a long time, and that you could leave this situation with it being much better off than before the conflict, which is amazing. So we also have for Sagittarius a strong focus on the 10th house, and all of you early, middle, and late degree Sagittarius have this. Early degrees have North Node and long-term Jupiter, long-term North Node, long-term Jupiter emphasis on the 10th house. The middle degree placements have the North Node, long-term Mars, shorter-term emphasis there. The later placements have shorter-term Mars and Venus in the 10th house, but longer-term is coming. So this energy of your career expanding is supercharged. We love that. Career, work, life purpose, recognition, validation, acknowledgement, people seeing you, and a person who's important to your path seeing you, and recognition or some positive forward movement in your work happening in that, because of that being seen. Being seen is basically a lot of this energy of the 10th house. So your middle to later degree placements still have Jupiter in the 9th house. Jupiter's our ruler. We have to follow it very closely. And the 9th house rules Sagittarius. So you're still getting the goodies. And for you later degree placements, you have a long time of this still, well into next year, of Jupiter expanding everything Sag. So this month is very much about Sagittarius, even though we've got a lot of Capricorn influence as well. But this is our month, and I hope that you shine bright. I'm so excited about our birthdays. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your month and year. Definitely go to my website and see my blog at anniehelpsyou.com. If you've been going to my A Spiritual Spark website, it's the same one. It's just I'm having some trouble with redirects from A Spiritual Spark to Annie Helps You. So if you just go right to anniehelpsyou.com, you can bypass any of the problems and check out my growing list of things I'm blogging about. I used to be a blogger a long time ago, and so you'll see a lot of, in true Sag style, a diverse range of topics that I blog about. So check them out. Have a wonderful month, have wonderful birthdays, have a wonderful year, and I'll see you next month and next year. Bye!